Howdy, my name is Billy Moran. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Uplogix, and welcome to another Austin Beers and Network Gear. This is Matt Drechsler. He's a sales engineer here at Uplogix, and today he has requested the Electric Jellyfish Hazy IPA from Pinehouse Brewing here in Austin, Texas.
Good stuff.
All right,
Very good. All right, cheers.
Close it.
It's good.
That's hoppy.
Yes.
All right. So, Matt, what are we
Yes.
going to talk about here today from a networking perspective?
Today we're going to talk about ROMmon recovery of a Cisco ISR router.
Okay.
So, there's times where you might be pushing an update to a router and that update may fail.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a power failure during an update. Something may get corrupted with the flash, and that switch may boot into ROMmon mode. So
Gotcha.
with Uplogix, we have automated processes to recover from that state.
All right.
So I want to demo that today.
Cool.
And we could jump right in. I have my Uplogix control center here. I'll log in with my username and password. So you can see this is our control center. It's located here in the data center. I have my lab local manager at my home office. That's this box here. I'll go ahead and log into that. Currently, it's in band. So it's being managed over the in-band connection over IP locally. What I want to do initially is to put this into an out-of-band state. So
Okay.
communicating over the cellular network. And I could do that through a scheduled task. And I'll do that here.
Especially if it's your routers in ROMmon, right? Or going to be in ROMmon.
Yes. So I could do that from here, excuse me. And select the task out of band. Go to next. And we'll turn on out of band. So what this does, you could do this in real time if I just click save here, or you can do it for some time in the future if you want to do a push of an OS or something through a task. We'll just schedule that for now. And it'll take maybe 30 seconds to about a minute for it to. You can see now we're in an out of band state. And what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and schedule another task to come back in band for an hour from now, just so that I don't forget.
Mm.
So we'll turn that off. And I'll do it for an hour from now.
So that's just kind of a best practice.
That's just what I like to do, so I don't forget. I'll do a demo of this, and then I'll forget to turn it off, and then I'll come in and it'll all be on.
Gotcha.
So I have two terminal apps open here. You can see we're logged into the local manager, the same LM500 demo pod. You can see that on port 1 I have my router, my Cisco router. I'll go ahead and terminal into that. And then what's unique about Uplogix is that we save configurations on the local manager. So we save the current running config, the startup config. We also save the OS image. We can save up to 6 images and 20 different running configs. And we save them every time someone logs in and out of the box, every time someone makes changes, and also every 3 hours we're backing up the running config. And we're also backing up the startup config every 24 hours, and we back up the OS every 2 weeks. These are jobs that are created when we configure the port for the Cisco router itself. And you can see those jobs here. If we do show schedule, you can see here we're pulling the running config, we're pulling the startup config, the VLAN, and the OS. The fact that we have these files saved locally at the manager means that in the event something happens, like a ROMmon, like a Cisco boots into a ROMmon, we have the files that we need to recover that box, right? Okay. So I'll go ahead and simulate a ROMmon failure, or a switch or a router booting into ROMmon, excuse me. And I'll do that. So you can see here I'm on port 11. I'll go ahead and terminal in to the Cisco device. Here on the left, what I'll do is a terminal shadow. which basically shadows the port itself. I'll go to port 11 first. So this shadows everything that's being outputted on the console port itself of the Cisco device.
Gives us a view into what's going on.
Gives us a view of what's going on. So you can see here, whatever I input here on the right, you could see it on the left. So I'll go ahead and just show the flash. You can see here we have the OS image, the bin file for the router. I'll go ahead and delete that file. Confirm, delete flash, make sure you want to delete it. We'll go ahead and
surely you don't want to do this.
We'll go ahead and show it again. So you can see the file's gone. So there's no OS images. If it boots up, it won't know what to boot up because there's no OS image there to do so. Gotcha. So we'll go ahead and then reload device. Confirm, reload. So now the device is booting up. You can see on the shadow, this is the console output. I'm actually going to log out of this session, and you'll notice that our automated process realizes the device is booting into ROMmon, and it triggers a ROMmon recovery automatically. Okay. So it starts issuing commands to recover from that state. So you can see here, it just passed, or it's right there. It set an IP address for the device, and it set the TFTP server IP. And now it's pushing the OS image from the local manager, which is acting as a TFTP server, to the Cisco router, which is what's going on right now.
Over the console.
This is over IP, so it's much faster. We can also push over console in the event that we can't set an IP address. Takes much longer, but you would be able to recover over X modem. This recovery process for an 891 typically takes about 5 or 6 minutes to push it and then to reboot and go back into a good state, a healthy state. So while it's happening, if you look here, you can see that the UCC shows that it's in a ROMmon state. Files successfully transferred. It'll reset the device and reboot it.
Gotcha.
So there it is. There's a reset command. So the router's now rebooting. And it's decompressing the image file. And will probably be recovered in a few more minutes here. And again, this is all happening out of band. So even when you don't have inline connectivity, you can get in over the out-band connection and recover a switch that's booting into ROMmon.
Versus normally you would need somebody
someone
plugging in from a laptop to do this?
Typically, yeah.
So will this log a alarm or anything where you would know if this had happened like overnight or?
It would, yes. Yeah. So if it's booting into ROMmon, it would trigger an alert, and you can get either a text message or an email alert sent to you. And you can see we're almost fully recovered. We're back into our monitoring process where we log in and out of the device every 30 seconds, collecting data. Right after we boot from ROMmon, we go and recover the running config, which is what it's doing now. If TFTP doesn't work, we'll push over the console connection, to make sure that we have the latest and greatest running config on the device as well. So you can do this as a bare metal restore. This process correlates to a bare metal restore, where all you would need to do is, plug in the proper cables to the proper ports, bring it up. We know it's a new device. We'll push the OS, we'll push the config, the running config, and the startup config. Gotcha. So not only can you recover from ROMmon, but you can put a new box in and do a bare metal restore. Exactly.
Same process.
And there we go. We're pretty much back up and running. These are our automated processes where we log in and out of the device. We're looking at CPU, we're looking at memory, we're looking at any new logs and things like that. So we could terminal back in. should see we're back up and running. So we're
Nice.
fully recovered.
Nice.
Hope you enjoyed the demo.